Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Hako. If you're diving into Zenless 0 and eyeing the new S-rank electric attack agent Seed, you come to the right place. Today we're breaking down everything you need to know about Seed in this ultimate character guide. Whether you're a newbie or a veteran proxy, we'll cover a role, core mechanics, skills, team builds, Mindscapes, signature engine, drive risks, etc. By the end, I plan to have you ready to dominate the battlefield with Seed as your main DPS or sub-DPS. So let's jump right in. First off, let's talk about what makes Seed stand out. She is an S-rank electric attack agent, designed as a powerhouse main DPS, but with a twist. She thrives in dual attack setups. That is right, Seed is going to be the first character in the game that actually wants to be paired up with another attacker. Well, the only other attacker that wants another attacker as a teammate. Her core passive introduces this innovative system where she teams up with another attack agent for non-stop burst damage relays. When triggered, it pumps out a massive boost to her attack teammate consisting of a fast attack, 30 crit damage and 25% increased damage overall. And they also restore combat resources for each other like energy and Seed's unique resource called Steel Charge, seen underneath her portrait. And this makes Seed super flexible. She pairs well with literally any other attacker in the game. So in short, Seed is all about explosive burst DPS in dual attack combos. She dishes out high numerical bonuses and energy generation for her teammate, keeping the action flowing without downtime. So you can think of Seed as two characters in one. The robot is an S-rank attack beast, and the pilot is an S-rank support. Buy one and get one for free. You can't go wrong. Now let's dive into her features. The dual attack system enriches combat with chain reactions of massive damage, non-stop explosions that keeps enemies on their toes. Her team building options are rich too, with excellent passive bonuses and a high days multiplier. She synergizes with any attack type. She's built for on-field play, but she also supports a quick swap playstyle. So she can be your main carry or a sub-DPS for your rotations. And versatile comps means that she's hard to counter in any scenario, and she fits against a lot of bosses. Alright, time for the nitty-gritty. Seed's core mechanics and skills. Note that this guide and my experience with Seed is based on my experience of Seed from the creator beta servers, so final tweaks and changes might happen before she goes live. But here is the breakdown. Her core passive is called the Flower Chain Protocol. In your squad, the attack ally with the highest attack besides Seed's becomes the Vanguard. When the Vanguard pops her EX special attack, they slap Onslaught on Seed, boosting Seed's attack by 1000 and crit damage by 30%. Now you can flip this one around, and when Seed uses her EX special, she gives the Vanguard the direct strike status with the same buffs. And if both of these buffs are active, boom, Besiege status kicks in for a 25% damage on top. So overall, Seed provides a fast attack, 30% crit damage and 25% damage bonus to both herself and her Vanguard teammate. These effects refresh on reapplication and last while you're controlling the character, with a 3-second linger after swaps, which is excellent for like quick swapping, and something I severely hope that Caesar will get in the future. And a pro tip for this is sync your switches perfectly, and you won't lose Onslaught or Direct Strike while both attackers are on the field. Steel Charge is Seed's exclusive resource. It maxes out at 150 and it starts out combat at 60 at base kit. It builds when the Vanguard burns energy on field or when Seed consumes energy herself, 0.5 per point spent. Plus, her skills hitting enemies restore it too. Consume it for her big attacks like Falling Petal's Downfall. Her additional ability, Surprise Strike, activates with another attacker character in the squad. When Seed deals damage on field, she restores 2 energy to the Vanguard, and this can activate once per second. And this is a direct add that is not affected by energy regen of the Vanguard. This amps her main outputs, basic attack like Falling Petal, Slaughter and Downfall. Plus her ultimate all get damage boosts and ignore enemy resistance. Now let's break down the skills. Falling Petals, Slaughter. After your 4th basic attack hit, EX special, dodge counter, quick assist or assist follow-up, hold or press basic to summon the mech for a charge punch. If Steel Charge hits 120, hold basic attack to trigger it quickly. When you have 120, the bar will turn yellow, and this is an easy visual cue. When we have 120 Steel Charge, we can unleash Falling Petals Downfall. And this is kinda Seed's core bread and butter attack. So when we have 120 steel charge, we can follow up Falling Petals Slaughter by either pressing or holding basic attack to burn 120 energy and unleash this heavy hitting attack. And like I said, this is like her primary damaging skill and it's her primary damage source. And it comes in two forms. First form auto chains into the second one. Now important note here, this attack comes in two stages, one punch, then Seed will jump back and then she will leap up into the air. As soon as Seeds leaps up into the air to like finish her attack, you can switch out to another character and the attack will still go through. But switch too early and she won't do the last part of the attack, so always stay until she leaps up into the air. So Seed can do a basic attack, Falling Petals Slaughter after most of her things, after a 4th hit of a basic attack, after dodge counter, after quick assist or assist follow-up. If we have 100 steel charge once we've done a slaughter, we will automatically chain into Falling Petals Downfall. Downfall comes in two stages, and once Seed starts with the second stage and she leaps up into the air, we can safely switch into another character and starting doing the rotation, and the attack will still play out. And also important to note, as soon as you reach 120 attack, you can also just hold in the attack button and Seed will immediately do a Falling Petals Downfall. This can also be done in a chain attack window if we cancel the chain attack window and then immediately hold the attack button. Now for Seed's EX special is called Raining Iron Petals. With enough energy, press the special attack to enter flight mode for a barrage of massive damage. Now we can keep holding the attack button and expend more energy to have the attack last longer. For every second that Seed is up in the air shooting down missiles on the enemy, she will recover more and more steel charge. So if we're already maxed out on steel charge, it's no point to keep holding the EX special attack button. And the EX special restore 30 steel charge base kit, but if we hold the EX special button, we can have it restore up to 60. Although this is dependent on you actually hitting the enemy with your missiles. Now for Seed's ultimate, it is called Ultimate Clockwork Garden Bloom. When you max out your spells, you can press Q and have Seed do her ultimate. And when you press this, you will mech up in first person and you will barrage on the enemies, then smash down. Her ultimate will give her 60 steel charge, and if you have 120 or more after the ultimate, you can immediately chain into Downfall. Now Seed has by far the highest damaging ultimate in the entire game. If we take a little bit of a look at the modifiers, it has a whopping 6500, which is not bad at all. Just for fun, we can take a little bit of a look at other characters' ultimates, like Soldier Ambi. Who else should we take? It's gonna hurt me, but let's take a little bit of a look at Ellen. As you can see, Seed's 6500 is actually insanely strong. So preferably we want to save the ultimate for a stun window. Also worth noting is that Seed's daze multiplier on their EX special attack is also kinda absurdly high for an attacker character. So the ultimate instantly gives Seed 60 steel charge, but she doesn't get an additional one for every missile hitting an enemy while we're piloting the mech. Seed's gameplay is simple yet satisfying. Stack 120 steel charge, unleash Downfall. While we're building steel charge, we're looking for opportunities to switch into our attacker teammate. You use up their energy to get even more steel charge. We're also looking for opportunities to switch back to Seed via defensive assist or be doing dodge counters with Seeds, because a lot of mechanics in the game will allow Seed to skip through her entire attack chain and just get to the meaty part, which is Falling Petal Slaughter. And once again, this is activated after a 4th hit or basic attack or a dodge counter or quick assist or assist follow-up. So a good way to build steel charge is switching into our attacker teammate using up their energy. And also anytime we use an EX special on either Seed or the Vanguard teammate, we will also refresh the buff. And it is super important to keep the buffs active on both of your characters. For stunned enemies, we can make use of the fact that we have 2 carries on the team, so we can make sure that Seed gets her downfalls and their ultimate off, but also that our other attacker teammate, whoever it may be, can also do the same. For team building, Seed pairs super well with any attacker agent in the game, but shines most with those who build resources via EX special and the attackers that can do that fast. Orphée looks to be Seed's best slot teammate, but she also pairs perfectly well with Soldier Zero Ambi, Evelyn, Ellen, Anton, Yudren, Soldier 11, Hermasa. Well, you get the picture, she pairs well with any sort of attacker agent. And an extra big nod to the reworked Ellen, who benefits a lot of the switch-in playstyle that Seed brings to the table. After Ellen's rework, a lot of her attacks will play out even after she is switched out, which fits perfectly in with Seed. If you're using Seed as your de facto main carry, if the investment level of your Seed is higher than your other attacker, and you're using Seed as your de facto main carry, you can slap your other attackers on a more supportive set like Swing Jazz or Proto Punk, because in that case the second attacker is mostly there to give resources for Seed. For the third slot in the team, we want a backline support with either defense or resistance shred preferably. So a really good third teammate is Trigger. Trigger takes up very little field time and she does a lot of magic, while we can focus on having our other attackers as the main characters. Now we can also pick Astra for the third slot, which gives a massive amount of buffs to the entire team. And slotting in Astra as the third character does feel really well, because Seed can make very good use of the fact that she can quick assist back into herself and get a free slaughter while doing so. Since we're gonna be running 2 attackers, Yufufu is also an excellent pick for the third option, because you will be seeing a lot more ultimate from both of your attackers. Now for Mindscapes and Engine. The overall pull recommendation for Seed is first 0+1, which means M0 Seed +1 Engine. After that it's 1+1, so M1 +1 Engine. After that 2+1, so Mindscape 2 plus Engine. Now Seed works great base kit, but Mindscape 1 is strongly recommended. It drops downfall steel charge cost to 100, and you get 40 more on battle start and 20 more from an ultimate. We also get an extra 30% crit damage to downfall, and this is quite frankly kinda huge for Seed's basic rotation. Now Seed's M2 is also really good, and it says when Besiege is active for an agent, that agent's damage ignores 20% of defense. Now if we rewind back a little bit, do you remember what the Besiege is, dear viewer? Well, it is when both the direct strike and the onslaught buff is active at the same time, so if Seed and her Vanguard ally has used EX special within the last 25 seconds. Additionally, when activating EX special attack Raining Iron Petals, after consuming a total of 60 energy, you can continue consuming energy to extend the duration of the skill until the button is released or a total of 120 energy is consumed. For every 5 energy consumed by EX special Raining Iron Petals, the following basic attack Falling Petals slaughters damage increased by 5%. So M1 and M2 are the really good and the really huge one, with an emphasis on M1. And now let's talk some engines. Seed's own signature engine is called Cordis Germina, and it is a really good one for her. It gives her 24% crit rate as advanced stat and an additional 15 on the flavor text. It also gives her 25% electric damage, and it allows basic attack and ultimate damage to ignore 20% of an enemy's defense. So Seed has no crit in her core or in her Mindscapes, so the extra crit from this engine is very good when it comes to building her. She has a very easy time stacking this one up, and it gives a generous amount of electric amp and pen. Now the alternatives would be Severed Innocence, which is Soldier Ambis signature engine, Marcato Desire, Steel Cushion, and then Cannon Rotor. And after that, Brimstone, although Seed does have a little bit of trouble keeping the stacks up on this one, so I would opt in for one of the other ones. And now finally for drive discs, her best slot is a 4-piece Dawn's Bloom. And this is Seed's signature disc set. This is the one she's meant to be running on. It gives a whooping 55% basic attack damage after you've done an EX special attack or ultimate. For the 2-piece, we can choose a little bit freely depending on what stats that we're lacking. On this Seed, I've opted in for a 2-piece Woodpecker Collector just to get some more crit rate. But you can also go Astral Voice, you can go Branch and Blade Song, and we can also do a 2-piece Fundamental. For this number 4, either go crit rate or crit damage, depending on how your stats are looking. For number 5, you either want attack percentage, pen ratio, or electric damage bonus, and these are kinda close, so let the substats dictate. For disc number 6, you want attack percentage. And the substats we're looking for is crit rate, crit damage, then attack percentage, and then any other. Now let's talk some openers, rotations, and general tips. As an opener, you want to make sure that you had the opportunity to do an EX special attack before you do Seed's first ever basic attack, Falling Petals Downfall. And why is that, you ask? Well, it is because we're running a 4-piece Dawn's Bloom, which has the effect that after we use an EX special attack or ultimate, Seed will do an additional 20% extra damage with her basic attacks. So go in and attack the enemy as you see fit, take an opportunity you can to do a dodge counter, because what couldn't we do after a dodge counter, dear viewer? Yes, we could go directly into a basic attack, Falling Petals Slaughter. So remember that the core goal with Seed is to reach 120 steel charge, then do basic attack, Falling Petals Downfall. And also remember that Downfall is an attack in 2 parts, So once Seed jumps back and then takes to the air, you can safely switch out to another character. When Seed attacks an enemy, her Vanguard teammate will gain 2 energy, and this can trigger every second. When her Vanguard teammate uses up energy, for every 1 energy used, Seed will get 0.5 steel charge. So usual cost for an EX special is 60 energy, so if the Vanguard uses an EX special costing 60, Seed will gain 30 steel charge. Seed gains 30 energy through an EX special, but you can get up to 60 if you hold the EX special button down with enough energy. And if Seed consumes 60 energy during her EX special, she will automatically cast Basic Attack Falling Petals Slaughter. You can always, as soon as you get 120 steel charge, you can hold the attack button and automatically go into Downfall. Downfall will also trigger if you continuously attack after a Falling Petals Slaughter or after her own ultimate. And always make sure that the Onslaught status and the Direct Strike status is active, so that both Seed and her Vanguard is in the besieged state whenever they do any of their moves. So everybody, that is what I can teach you about Seed. She is a super fun, super unique little powerhouse that teams up with any other attacker in the game and adds quite a lot of value into an attacker heavy account. Let me know down below if you have any additional tips for Seed, if you have a favorite team that you're planning on running with her, and also if there's any corrections that needs to be made, I will put them in the comments. And once again, this guide has been based on my extensive testing of Seed from the creator beta servers. And if you found the guide informative and helpful, feel super free to help me out with the thumbs up and maybe a comment. And whenever I do guides, constructive feedback is always welcome, so if you found certain parts like easy to digest and helpful, please point them out, and if you feel like I need to do some things better, please also do let me know. Everybody, as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a big hug, and until next time, Hako out.